Okay, here is the FITINHOT airbrush kit. It's got the compressor, a built-in fan, just kind of a full airbrush system. I am brand new to airbrushing as a hobby. I wanted to pick it up because of some of the customizing and modification I do with these different airsoft type guns. And I thought this was a good one to try because of the price point, and it looked like that it had everything that I needed here in one spot. And it also looks like it's relatively quiet, which is something I was looking for. I don't have to do any type of oil because I was looking for something I didn't have to do maintenance on since I don't really know anything about these yet. And so that's where I came across this one. So in this video, I just kind of want to show you everything that comes with this and kind of how it all goes together because I wasn't exactly sure when I got it. And so I want to go ahead and show that to you. So obviously we've got the big compressor itself is right here. So you can see the size of it. I mean, it's not very large. Um, it's got the nice handle on it. It's got the little spot for your gun. And then it's got your plug-in for your hose, pressure reading, and then a dial to turn that pressure up and down. Okay, you're going to get your plug-in here, of course, right, to be able to plug it in, just similar to like you see with a laptop computer. Here's your actual hose that's going to connect the compressor to the airsoft gun. This is a little filter that actually will go on this end, and that's, I guess, just to make sure that nothing bad gets back in here, or it's cleaning the air as it's sending it through. Um, and so then you've got a couple jars for paint. You've got a color cup for paint. I'll go over the differences there in a minute. And then the actual little airbrush, gun, I guess you'd call it, right here. Little wrench is in here and a little dropper. Okay. All right. So first, I found out that Color Cup works great because it's gravity fed. This would go right here. It's gravity fed. That works really good for very detailed airbrushing because you don't need as much pressure, okay, because of that gravity feed. Now, but as you can see, it doesn't hold a ton of paint either. Whereas the glass jars hold a lot more paint, but they're what's called a siphon fed. So it's kind of sucking it up. And so you need more pressure to do that. And I guess that's better for not as detailed of work. So that's why you have both options. I believe with the jars too, like you could leave the paint in here. You may not want to because of the hose though. So I guess with any type of painting, it's always best to clean everything really good in between uses just to make sure that nothing hardens or, causes any issues for you. So let's go ahead and let's put this together. All right, so like I said, there's this filter that's going to go on this end. So you're going to just go ahead, screw this on here. If I can get it to, there we go. Get it to start threading on. And again, this should be all stuff that you can do by hand. You should not be using any tools. Okay. And then you're going to just go ahead with this hose right here. Okay. That just screw it on until it's, good and tight, not over tight. This is where I got a little confused at first. The hose connects here. This has this quick connect that doesn't work with this. It must be an attachment for a different type of hose in case you have that. So I just take that off, and then you're going to hook this end of the hose here instead. All right. So we kind of got that set up there. And then you're going to decide whether you're going to use the glass jar, which if you are, that's just going to go here. And then you're going to screw that down, okay? Or the color cup, which will just go here, but just facing up, and then you're going to screw that on there too. All right, so that gets screwed on there. And again, just kind of screw it there. You shouldn't need to spin the whole thing, but I am just, oh, now see, I got it a little too tight. So you don't want to go too tight. There we go. All right, so you could fill that with paint. All right, so then you're pretty much set up and ready to go. You just go ahead, plug it in. You could fill this with your paint, and then you're just going to start airbrushing. I'm gonna just, do some experimenting with pressure, how much pressure I need, whatever I'm trying to do. I'm not super detail oriented, so I'm not gonna be doing any really, really fine painting of like tiny models, but it'll be nice to be able to do maybe some stripes, that kind of stuff, some custom stuff like that will look really nice. I went ahead and just purchased some airbrush specific paint on Amazon as well. It's always going to be acrylic paints, but if you buy airbrush specific paint, it's already thin to the right, um, what's the word I'm looking for, density, or the right, viscosity for an airbrush gun. If you tried to use your own acrylic paints, you certainly can, but you have to know how to thin them properly. And like I said, I'm a beginner. I didn't want to figure all that stuff out right away. I thought I would just go ahead and go with some pre mixed airbrush specific paints. Okay, so it's the FITINHOT. All right, this is their airbrush system. Like I said, it's supposed to be nice and quiet and, a pretty easy, straightforward system. So that's why I picked it. I'll do a little experimenting and hopefully I can shoot a video where I show you guys me using this.